I'm 55 years old. I don't have a family, no children, no one waiting for me at home. And now I have an illness. I found out by accident, a routine checkup. Tests just in case. The doctor spoke calmly, almost casually, like he was reading a weather forecast. I nodded, asked the right questions, pretended I understood. Then I walked out of the office and realized there was no one to call. I'm not saying this to ask for pity. I'm saying it because that was the moment I understood. I've lived my whole life as if time were endless. For years, I believed everything would happen later. Love would come later. Family would come later. There would be a moment when life would finally begin. I was a convenient woman, reliable, patient, the kind people call strong, the kind who always manages. I worked hard, I supported others, I kept postponing myself. There were men in my life. None of them stayed. I always chose the wrong ones, or allowed myself to be chosen temporarily. I was the safe option, the backup, the woman people came to when things fell apart, but never stayed with when things got better. I believed that if I were good enough, understanding enough, patient enough, I would eventually be rewarded. But the years passed, and I kept waiting. First, the questions from relatives stopped, then the awkward pauses, then the invitations. I became the woman no one asks, "What about you?" because everyone already knows the answer. When I got sick, the world didn't collapse. It just became quieter. I come home after appointments to an empty apartment. I make tea, I sit down. Sometimes it hits me that if I get worse, no one will know right away. Not because no one cares, but because there is no longer a first call in my life. The hardest part isn't the fear of dying. It's realizing there's no one to hold on to. Sometimes I imagine what my life could have looked like by now. Children, grandchildren, a voice on the phone saying, "Mom, how are you?" Then I pull myself back to reality, because imagining takes energy, and I have less of it now. People tell me you're strong. They always have. But illness has a way of putting things in their place. It doesn't make me weak. It just removes the illusion that everything can still be postponed. I don't regret every choice I made. I regret how many years I spent convincing myself that loneliness was freedom, and not a slow form of disappearance. I'm 55 years old. I have an illness. And I have a life I've finally stopped postponing, even if there's less time left in it than I once believed.